Hello, hello, hello. I am your host OCL, and welcome back to One Century Later. Before we begin, I want to start by saying thank you to every single one of you who recently joined. I never expected I would be picked up by the algorithm gods, seeing that was a very big surprise. So thank you. Today, we'll be talking about all events from March 16th to March 22nd, 1925. As with last week, all of my sources are in the description down below. Monday, March 16th, 1925. A 7.0 magnitude earthquake struck the Yunnan province in China. This earthquake caused massive damages, killing over 5,800 people and destroying over 75,000 buildings. Also on this day, a 5,000-mile-long communications cable was activated, connecting the United States to Italy. Tuesday, March 17th, 1925. A coal mine in West Virginia exploded, killing 33 miners. Wednesday, March 18th, 1925. The deadliest tornado in U.S. history, the Great Tri-State Tornado, touched down at 1:01 p.m. close to Ellington, Missouri. 3.5 hours later, the tornado would dissipate in Indiana after killing 695 people and injuring 2,000 more. After destroying Annapolis, Missouri, the tornado moved to southern Illinois, destroying the towns of Gorham, Murfreesboro, and Parrish. Murfreesboro in particular was hit the hardest of the entire tornado, with 234 fatalities. Of the 695 deaths caused by the tornado, 600 of them would occur in Illinois. The tornado crossed into Indiana, where it devastated Griffin and Princeton, Indiana, before finally dissipating at 4:30 p.m. 219 miles, 3.5 hours, 695 deaths, winds of over 300 miles per hour, $17 million in damages later, the tornado would dissipate. In the aftermath of the tornado, the St. Louis Post-Dispatch would describe the scene as, quote, "Scenes of suffering and horror marked the storm and fire. Throughout the night, relief workers and ambulances endeavored to make their way through the streets strewn with wreckage, fallen telegraph poles and wires, and burning embers. The only light afforded was that of the burning area." Following the death of Sun Yat-sen 6 days earlier, the Yunnan-Guangxi War began in China. Fang Jiao, the leader of the Yunnan province, announced that he would take control of the Kuomintang from Wu Hanmin, the acting leader of the Kuomintang following Sun Yat-sen's death in the Guangxi province. Thursday, March 19th, 1925. The governor of New Mexico at the time, Arthur Hannett, signed legislation making the state flag of New Mexico what it is today. The flag was designed by Harry and Reba Mera as a red Zia sun on a yellow background. Number 4 is very important to Zia Native Americans, representing the 4 cardinal directions, 4 seasons, the 4 stages of life, and the 4 periods of day. The red and yellow colors come from the red and yellow of the Spanish flag, which ruled over the New Mexican territory from the 1500s to the 1800s. In a 2001 study by the North American Vexillological Association, The New Mexico state flag ranked as #1 of the best state flags out of the U.S. state and territory flags and the 13 Canadian province flags. Also on this day, American serial killer Martha Wise confessed to the murder of 17 of her family members by arsenic poisoning because they were against her marrying her love, Walter Vaughn. Wise would remain in prison until her death 46 years later. Friday, March 20th, 1925. Pierre Plume became the new Prime Minister of Luxembourg. Saturday, March 21st, 1925. Spanish Prime Minister Miguel Primo de Rivera dissolved the Commonwealth of Catalonia. Following the January junta opposing the September junta in Chile, Arturo Alessandri returned from exile to retake the presidency of Chile after being disposed of in September of the previous year. Sunday, March 22nd, 1925. First radio broadcast in Japan was transmitted by the Tokyo Broadcasting Station. This first broadcast included a performance by the Japanese Navy Band, a news broadcast, and a recording of Beethoven's Fidelio opera. That is all. I will see you next week for all events from Monday, March 23rd, 1925, to Sunday, March 29th, 1925.